to people.
Well, my name is Manny Rodriguez, and I mean, if I have to describe myself in the industry, I feel like I'm kind of like the 3-6 mafia of MMA. Like I'm the most known unknown. Uh, I started as a fighter in Southern California. Started, in the King of the Cage era back in the day, the Total Combats in San Diego. And after I was done fighting, I was coaching and then managing fighters with a group of guys that were also kind of retired from fighting in that San Diego area. So it was like Eric Del Fiero and his guys down south, and then it was us in the North County Fight Club. And that's actually how I got started with Bellator and Bjorn Rebney and Brad Epstein, because at the beginning it was Bjorn and Brad, and they were the co-owners of the brand originally. So I got started with them. Yeah, it was probably 6 to 8 months before the very first event. So the first event was in April of '09. So this was in summer, fall of '08. And Bjorn was had this idea, he wanted to do the crazy, $150,000 tournament. He had the TV deal in Spanish with ESPN Deportes. So that first season only aired uh, in Spanish on ESPN Deportes, and the English show was only put on YouTube. They didn't have like an English network at the time. It wasn't until season two. But yeah, so season one, pre-season one, it was a handful of managers. Obviously Monty Cox was I call the Montosaurus Rex back then.
Hmm.
He had Eddie Alvarez, he had, the Midwest guys. But I went to Mexico City and signed Israel Hiron, Raul Romero. I actually signed Hector Lombard. I found Hector for Bjorn and I actually signed him. And that was an interesting story because he was about to sign with the at the moment defunct Elite XC. Um, Have you ever talked to Hector? That's a pretty funny story. I'm sure he'll tell it better than I will. But yeah, so I was signing talent for Bjorn and Brad, and I was helping with some of the pre-fight recordings with Brad Epstein, who was a TV guy. He produced movies. Um, so we were doing all the pre-production stuff, and I was a big part of that before season one. Yeah, here Reyes, I went and we recorded him at Miguel Reyes's gym, Coach Miguel.